Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. This session we are going to see identifier, and one of the identifiers which we are going to see is region. Region is a visual automation capability. What it does, it's very similar to what point does. Point is a very specific area of the screen which we are trying to click or perform some action. But region is an area of the screen which has starting and ending point. From that region, if you want to be able to read some information and store it in a variable and perform some action, it is used for that purpose. For example, read a specific coordinate which is starting 300 in comma 400, 500 comma 550 to some variable we can able to store. Meaning you have a starting location and you have ending location, all the area within the dot region. It will try to read any of the text in that area between these 2 points. It will read and store it in the variable. It uses optical character recognition. So try to recognize characters, whichever characters which we have from an image or from a screen. So it utilizes that capability and try to interpret it. Sometimes if you try to read through the information from the region, you may not get a correct values based on the algorithm which you OCR's capability. But most of the time, whatever the information you have it on the screen, it directly translated to a characters, and that characters can be stored on the screen. So anything you want to extract from the image or from anywhere from the screen without even really bothering about other identifiers to perform some action, we can utilize this capability. Let's see an example in detail. So welcome back. To see an example, let's launch our favorite Notepad++. Example, let's launch our favorite Notepad++ and put it in the corner. Also, let's launch our browser and put it here. So let's launch a website or web application, which we have. In this case, we are using Investopedia. So I'm going to shrink it so that we can able to have a clear perspective of what we are looking for. As we've seen, region is something which we can able to get from an area within the screen, starting a location to this ending location. We can always select it. For example, if we want to get these details in the screen, we can able to get. Let's try to read this information from the screen and try to store it in a variable and display it on the command prompt. So that's our goal to perform. So let's get started. Let's broaden this up, the Notepad++. Let's start our code. Say // identifier, and the identifier is region and example. And to do so, let's say first launch the website, that is in this case Investopedia. Go back here, copy and paste. So this will launch our site, and then let's try to get a read the best banks for savings account text section and store it in a variable. So we will have a variable. Let's say our variable name is var get screen text, and I'm starting to define a value as empty. And let's just say echo this, say echo before the value of var get text comma var get text, and then close it. So it will show what are the values. So technically it should be empty. Similarly, once we get it, we'll also have it after that. So we'll come back to this step later. To do so, we have a command called read, so which we can able to read. We'll see in a little bit more detail when we go for reading information. So at this point, you can say read basically reads information from or perform reading information from the screen. We are here and we need to perform reading, which is starting point hyphen to end point, and the variable would be var screen, and this is where we are going to store, right? So before that, let's just give a wait. Let's say after launching, we want to wait for a few seconds, and then once that is done, we want to read it from there. So we don't know from where to where the location is. So for that, let's launch our favorite mpost tool. I used it here, so let's keep it here. Let's go back and start our screen, and as we said, we wanted to get this detail which is over here in the section. So let's take the mouse over here and say Control Alt and X. So you got this coordinate information which is 1053 comma 478, and at the same time let's also say we want to get it here. So let's say Control again Alt and X. So you basically got the coordinate. Now let's go back to our code, or go back to our Notepad++, and let's update this coordinate. So the first X coordinate is 1053, 478, and then next one was again 10253, 534. And this is where we are going to read it and store it. Let's just give a 2 minutes wait to read and put it in. And let's just go back and copy this statement and say paste after reading. So here the value on the top should be empty, which is blank, and here there should be some text available based on whatever the text we are having on the section of the screen. Save this and store it in our desired location where you are. Let's save it here. Give the file name as identifier region example.tag and save. Okay, so let's minimize all this. I think we need it, but we can keep it here. Should not create any problem because we have different region which we are going to execute it. Launch our command prompt. Go to a desired location where you have saved your TagUI script. For time being, let's move this from here to here. Keep it here so that we can able to see what's happening. So come here, let's say TagUI, provide your script name and hit enter and see what's going to happen. So it's opened a new screen which is started. So you can see there the variable is empty. It navigated to investopedia.com and waited for 5 seconds, and now it's reading, and after reading it's displaying. If you see here, it displayed this information, which is what we are looking for. And actually this is the value which we wanted to get it from the screen, and it basically gave us this value. To ensure that that's the correct information which we are seeing it, you can check here, which is our guide to finding the best interest rate available. So this concludes region identifier. So see you in another one. Thank you for watching.